Ebusuafo na etifo ni de kwan so me pacho me ma obi bia akwa ababa channel so hanum daily update TV. Ubo kwan so say no first time ababa channel so message say ni de kwan so say nya news ni tie na so ni join. Please subscribe, like and share videos and audios ma love is so nya videos ni bi. Enhwe nyakopon share na onyo kese busua. Me pacho Annor Dompre we lose ni seat. Yes, ye nya ni Annor Dompre. So far my makers a majority chief whip. So Nansia or need speaker and semi by o Johnny call parliament honorable Abuja Piba team ebe exposing. Sa no don prayer na ye kan wasem. Annor Dompre ye kan wasem no na parliament NDC for case no. Galamsey semi ya yina aye too much intinu. Omonhwe no munye bibi na on the same Annor Dompre na ne Piba team be can say even when NDC was in power na a chance inti NDC fu no mu nyina aka ho inti hwe no man kan kyerɛ mu sɛ ɔmo de ɔmo nye so paraphrase ne na sɛ wo de kɔ inti ase mu asa na no ɔpa kyerɛ sɛ busua Annor Dompre ɔyɛ NPP ni pa the NPP ni pa majority chief whip ɔne afenyo markings na yɛ adwuma sei wo lose ni seat yɛbɛkɔ ne akɔgye nsɛm ne nkyerɛ mu nyakopon hwa no nyɛ ɔkɛsem da ase bebree.
We'll come back to the question. Let's take quick comments on what we have heard from Nsawam at this point. Lawyer, you go.
Right. So what I would say is that you know this particular thing I've heard about it yesterday. I mean, like not the winning. Yeah, the winning. It started trickling yesterday that this Annor Dompre had lost. You know, Annor Dompre is the majority chief whip. And then he's on many boards, etc. Right? And my beef, and the reason I'm happy he's supposed to have lost is that he was sharing money. It was on other TV stations. Yeah, he was sharing money.
I see.
Yeah, and so you ask yourself,
we haven't reported that.
Yes, so some other media stations have reported it. So it's good that the good people of Ghana in the constituency took the money and voted against him.
We don't know if he has lost. You just heard that the collation was disrupted.
Oh, NDC, when they did the press conference, Sami Jemfi announced it in the morning. So I presume NDC know what they are talking about. So this morning, not even this afternoon or this evening, in the morning, the time they did the press conference, Sami Jemfi added it to the list of constituencies they had won.
And so, we've had it repeated this evening as well.
Yes, so I'm happy that the good people of Nsawam took the money and voted against it because it's our money in the first place. You know, it's on the road fund and some other boards, right? That's where they make the money. And so it's good that people have taken it away from him and voted against him. So we just hope that with time, the EC would, you know, formally announced.
But are we seeing too many of these situations?
Well, because I've not specifically counted what happened in the last election.
But we've sat here for the last 2 days or so.
Yes.
And nearly every coverage will hear of delay or disruption of sorts.
Yes, so to be able to say this year, the numbers have gone up. We'll have to specifically check against the 2021 because 2020 where these things are usually occur. I'm not saying they should. I'm not approving them, but in terms of occurrences, I'm saying this is not new. They usually happen out of 275 constituencies. These are bound to happen. You know, our democratic maturation is coming one day at a time. Even the advanced countries, they are also maturing. There is no end to maturity. You remember what Trump did, the January 6th thing? The people went and did a coup d'etat in America. In today's America, they attempted a coup d'etat. So it tells you that human nature, we are the same. Sometimes we make the mistake of thinking that the whites are that different. They are not too different. There are systems that work. But in terms of human behavior, they commit crimes just like we do, etc. They even commit more heinous crimes. When it comes to stealing from the public purse, they also steal. I mean, human nature is the same thing, but the main difference is that their systems work. So like Donald Trump, you see that though he was an ex-president, you see how the system was working. He got convicted, and apart from that, also the civil cases, he got this and he lost. He was liable to pay damages, etc. But Ghana, our systems are weak. That's how come, like we keep saying, and I'm happy it's Mama who is won because he's agreed there will be what? Constitutional review, right? So that we'll make the judiciary more independent. So I was going to make the point that not in Ghana's judiciary, because you see that the way the executive has control over the judiciary, they will find ways of influencing the judiciary. You see in America, it didn't work. Donald Trump was convicted straight up. And then the other cases, right? So that is the point. Let's just see. Some of these things are bound to happen, but bottom line is that as long as it doesn't degenerate into violence and a lot of maiming people and killing people, we should let them run their course.
Prof.
Annor Dompre, please.
Annor Dompre, yes.
Well, I snippets of information that I get about him in his own constituency show that he's a very arrogant young man. He's the one who said that if it is about when we're fighting, we're putting pressure on the government to fight Galamsey.
Right.
He was the one that we heard in Parliament that it appears that NDC has destroyed the environment more than the MPP, and was saying this brazenly in Parliament. And I was wondering whether this was a material for Parliament. Okay, to the extent of he being made even a majority chief whip. You see, it appears, like I said yesterday, that our elections into positions of trust is often based on popularity. And so many things, people can do so many things to make themselves popular. You said I should not give the example that I gave the last time, so I'll not bring that same example.
But
if you have such a person in Parliament, when people are dying, instead of you saying that we are calling on the president to declare a national emergency so that we can activate interventions to address the challenge, you say, oh, but the opposition even destroyed the environment more than the ruling government. Well, so let us see, but I wouldn't like to see such a person in Parliament. He's not fit for that position. In Parliament, you need people who are sober, people who have what it takes to reflect the interest of their constituents, people who would be patriotic and nationalistic in their public utterances, okay, about issues of national concern. And so the results have not been declared, but he's not somebody that I'll be proud of as a member of Parliament. And I'm wondering what the people of Nsawam will be looking out for in deciding who should become their MP. If they have this man as their MP, then it's up to them. And that's how come among his constituents, you hear people, talking against him, that he is very arrogant, he doesn't respect them.
We would have to take a trip back onto the ground. Alfred?
You haven't asked my opinion.
Yeah, we'll come back and do that. We'll come back and do that. Well, my understanding is that it might take a little bit, Alfred, but we are talking about your community.
Yes.
Perhaps I should come back and then ask you.
No,
but let me take Susanna's thoughts first, and then I'll come back to you, Alfred.
Well, I mean, I was appalled when I heard him talk about this Galamsey thing. I was like, what? And so I have to agree with Prof here. You don't want such people in Parliament. And I was like, but we can measure, the turbidity of water, down the line. So if you say that the water was murkier in that time till now, I mean, but it doesn't even begin to make sense. I mean, if such a person, and I mean, I don't know what what the outcome will be, but I would be happy if he did lose, okay? And I think that we need to take people down a peg or two sometimes so that they will actually see their smoothness level and realize that the power belongs to the people. You are there because of the people. And so when you are there, you must be humble enough to recognize that the people chose you, and you need to be a proper representative of them as a whole. You get it, and not go there and think that you are the be it all and end it all. People many times forget that power is transient and that it can be taken away from you like that. You get it. But for somebody who has resorted to shooting, he's a thug. I mean, he's a thug.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, okay, allegedly. Yeah, but anybody who does that is a thug. You get it. Elections, somebody would win. You can't have two MPs. You can't be a maybe MP or a deputy MP or whatever. It's either somebody wins and somebody loses. This may not be your time, the other times. There are people who have lost and have won. Mahama lost, he's won now. You understand? So you bid your time. So you take it into your stride. You don't pick a gun and be shooting in the air. Anybody who does that is a thug and is fundamentally flawed and has no business being an MP. You get it. No character. Look, a lot of this election was also about character. People have lost their seats because their characters have not been pleasing to people. And I said, as a society, we need to take stock like that.
Right.
And it should not just be about a party. You shouldn't vote for any monkey in a suit because I'm MPP, so I would vote for this person, or I'm NDC, I'll vote for this person. Look at the character of the person. Does this person reflect you? Does this person speak the way that you want your MP to speak? You understand? Does this person do the things that are honorable? Because that is why they are called honorable. They are not called honorable because just they are in parliament. You understand? You must be an embodiment of that name that they give you. And so if you are a thug and you are losing an election and you pick up a gun to shoot, I mean, really? Why do we want such a person in our parliament?
Right.
I think it's about time we started purging our parliament of such characters. And we should look as a people. You see, life is not just about bread and butter issues. You understand? It's also about ethics, the ethics in which we live by, the things, the moral values that we have. That's what makes us human beings, not just the bread and butter things. It's the ethos of which we live by, of who we are as a people. Yeah. And so we must start to punish people when they don't reflect us or the way that
when they
we
don't
expect.
reflect our values.
Values. Because right now, it's so difficult to what are our values as a people? No, I mean, you understand? We've made money a value. That's what it is. So you have money and you can do all sorts of things and then people are hailing you. That is so wrong.
Comes to Prof's point, but I won't let you make that point again. Alfred, I was telling you that we've been talking about your community and what your and you know it would appear the common question here is why the constituents continue to vote the way they do. We don't know the results of this election yet, but you have lived within the community. How do they feel about the IMP?
Well, I'll tell you what. I go there at least once or twice every month on weekends. Now, there's some history to how the people live or have voted over the period. It's been an NPP, we would say, a comfortable seat for them over time. Now, there are some concerns about some roads in some specific communities. I lived in Annor, that's the Jankrom area. There's Adwejiri, there's Jankrom, and Annor Sejan, which is the school that I attended. That area has its own concerns as well. It was named after the man who was a first settler in that area. Now, on the matter of Galamsey, which played a pivotal role in the campaign going into this election, Kamini, because the Densu River goes through Nsawam, right? So to have the MP make that statement, obviously, was going to be a matter that was going to be used against him. That's why you have Professor Jampo ask questions of him, right? Because the Densu River that was polluted, and we reported it here on TV3, the Densu River feeds the Wager Dam. We saw the part of the Wager Dam, it started, the turbidity level was beginning to increase, and the Ghana Water Company Limited raised concerns about it. The Densu River is a source of that's water for thousands, and not about millions of Ghanaian people, especially in some parts of the Greater Accra region and the Eastern region as well. So at least you would have expected that no matter the context in which Frank Dompre made that statement, you would think about your constituents and the water body they depend on. Because look, while growing up, I used to go for fishing in the Densu River, right? And the people who are watching us really, some of them will call us every now and then when they see you on TV and remind you. that this is where you grow up, right? So I know the turbidity levels of the water then that I used to go for fishing in, and what it looks now. And you don't need a scientist to tell you how the people are living and how this is impacting on their lives. So they came face to face with the reality, and the reality influenced how things are playing out, even though we don't know the outcome as yet.
Indeed, Alfred, thank you for giving us that insight. We'll now come back to it.
I had an auntie who lived there, and I remember I used to also go, and she's late.
Ebusuame patcho me do bi bia se we nyamre no abenya videos ni bi nso ahwe yes obi bia se ya to abawie ye making sure say be ya famu dey to keep the peace, you know. I want you keep the sanity safe, because eno ne ade pai was ye near the ye mine. Na me patcho the former president and the incoming president at the same time, or the president elect. I was say you keep it environment clean, safe and sound, peaceful. Peacefully. A man now on suit me, but not obey Nejuma. Shani anya basa bia. Mpache den komuni besi afa comment, share comment section. A budget na ya can come. That's very.